Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about goals versus resolutions, how to achieve goals, how to make goals, how to actually reach your goals, and maybe even go beyond that and reaching your dreams and achieving your dreams. So if that's what you want to see and get some tips, tricks, and hints about how to do that, then just stick around. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be talking a lot about goals. Now, before we get started, in the description box below, I have a link to get your own copy of the Ultimate Goal Guide that I have included for you guys with this video. A lot of this video is going to revolve kind of around this workbook. However, it breaks down how to identify, set, and reach your goals in kind of an easy way. So as a therapist, this is something that I talk about all the time with the people that I work with, and I wanted to share it with you guys as well. So go ahead and get your workbook and get your copy of the guide, and let's get going into it. So the first thing that I always like to look at when we're talking about goals is your life purpose. Now, what this does is these are questions that will help you find your passion, find what lights your soul on fire, and find what are the things that you love. In order to set any kind of a goal for yourself, you need to figure those pieces out first. So it includes some questions about your gifts and talents, people that you are thankful for, activities that you love, places that you love. Are there any experiences that you would love to be able to do on a daily basis that would just make your life 0 to 100, or maybe have a huge positive impact on your life? Are there any problems going on in the world that you're passionate about changing or helping make better? And then just kind of looking at that, using those things to help you create what is your mission? What do you feel like you want to bring to the world? And, again, like I keep saying, what lights you on fire? Or kind of going on the flip side, what is something that you're identifying? Maybe there's a lack of an area, or maybe there's an area or a part of your life that is missing. So this will kind of help you figure all of that out a little bit. The next section talks about your values. So you can definitely have more values than what you identify in these questions. All that these questions are doing are helping you identify the specific values that will help you reach and make those goals. So that includes, I really like this first section. What are your top 5 most important memories? Or even what are your favorite memories? The ones that make you feel the happiest. The one that if I say, hey, remember when, immediately pops into your head. Using those 5 memories, the value section is going to encourage you to look at these memories. Do you find common themes? Do you find commonalities within them that you're noticing? Same people were always there. You were at the same place. The same things were happening. Things like that. Then what do you love? What do you hate? What are qualities that you need to feel successful? So what needs to happen for you to feel successful on your goal? And from that, you create your goals. In this, under the values section, it does have an overall goal. What is your overall goal for 2021? Are there career goals? Are there personal goals? Family friend goals? Any fitness goals, nutrition goals, self-care goals? So I included this because sometimes when you feel a void in your life and you're trying to identify something, it's hard to figure out what area is that in. So that's what this is for. You may have 3 goals under a self-care section, but absolutely nothing in fitness. That's okay. That may not be your goal section for right now. You can always come back and revisit it at any time, but this helps you kind of start that process of success. So on the next part, one of the things I always, before I jump into this next section, which talks about the wheel of life, you want to always kind of look at in the past when you have set goals or resolutions for yourself, being mindful that, it's so easy to start off super motivated, super excited to do things, and then have it fizzle out. So then you might be asking yourself, okay, well, what's making this a little bit different? Why is this different? Number one, the feeling that it's different is because you might be asking yourself that. Again, like I said earlier, resolutions set you up to fail, but goals set you up for success. So with all of that, you have your big goals. So say your one of your goals is to, again, I'm going to use the most common resolution examples, that we hear. Say your goal is to lose 2 dress sizes, 25 pounds, and wear a bikini this summer. That is an awesomely big goal to have. But if you don't break it down, it's going to be overwhelming. So what are those areas that you would need to focus on first? Are you a complete couch potato, need to get up and walk around the block to start? Do you maybe need to start cutting out soda or all those midnight snacks that, let's get real here, even I'm guilty with doing? So, you want to break it down. Start big and then break it down. And we'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. I said we have something called the Wheel of Life, and I really like using this technique. So it shows you where you're at now, where you've made progress, and it helps you have balance in your life. In order to have balance in your life, you can't really be lacking in an area. It does happen. It happens naturally. It's a part of life. Those are the times where we might feel stressed, anxious, anything like that. I have created and developed, I broke it down a little bit. So normally it's actually a wheel, but instead I broke it down into kind of like a bar graph in a way. So the 8 areas that you always want to look at are your environment, your friends and family, fun and recreation or social life, health, career, personal growth, money, and then significant other, romance, relationships, those areas. And I like using the 1 to 10 scale because you can use percentages and it breaks down easily for you, but it also doesn't give so much that you feel overwhelmed. So what you would do here is think about these areas in your life. 1 kind of means it's really lacking. 10 means that you are so fulfilled and so happy and doing really well in this area. So these aren't all going to be the same, and that's okay. They're going to fluctuate from month to month too. That's okay. Right now I can tell you, where is it? In our environment, we all might be a little bit lower than normal because of everything going on. I will say fun and recreation for me personally is a little bit lower right now because with us getting ready to move, my focus is on getting the house ready to move, packing things, making sure that we're all set to go to the new house. I may not be doing as many game nights, for example. So in the workbook, there's actually 12 months worth of these so that you can have, a whole year's worth. And it's really kind of interesting that I always like to look at these every 3 months. I don't look at them every month because sometimes things can feel overwhelming. They can feel like they're just a lot's going on. And if you try to compare everything from month to month, it might become overwhelming and you might feel defeated. If you look at it every 3 months, for example, you might be able to see progress and you'll be able to see changes. So the line below all of these, there is a little blurb and it says, what is 1 small step you can take to get closer to that 10 out of 10? So is it, using the health example again, is it maybe January you're at a 2 where you don't feel that great? That small step might be taking a walk 3 times a week outside. So then in February, did you do that? Yes, no, where are you at? Where do you feel? What is the next step you'd like to take? So the next thing that we like to talk about, and this is something that if you don't get this, you're not going to be able to reach a goal. It's just going to be too much. We always talk about in the therapy world, the SMART way. and this is very common across so many industries and so many fields, this is how you achieve goals. You make it SMART. So is it specific? Simply saying, I want to lose weight or I want to get back in shape isn't going to cut it. Is it that you want to run a 5K in 3 months' time, or even walk a 5K in 3 months' time? Is it that you want to go down 1 dress size in 3 months? Specific. Get specific with it. Next one is measurable. How do you know you're making progress? I will say there is such a thing as too measurable. So for example, excuse me, when you want to lose weight, getting on the scale every single day is too much. It's going to defeat you because there's things, ladies, that we have water weight, we bloat, it happens. You might go up and down. So doing it every day for some people could be defeating. However, measurable. Going back to the 5K example, if you want to run a 5K in 3 months' time, where are you in 1 month? So a 5K is about 3-ish miles. I think it's slightly more than 3 miles. So, okay, at the end of 1 month, are you able to run 1 mile? Measurable. You're able to measure it. Next one is achievable. I always kind of view it as achievable or attainable. So the example I used here is losing 20 pounds in 10 days is just not doable. Eating and staying to a diet 100% of the time doesn't work. It's not going to happen. So is it specific, but is it too specific that it's not achievable? So is it maybe I will meal prep 3 to 5 lunches per week instead of saying I'm going to meal prep every single meal for all 7 days? Which one do you think is going to be more achievable? Starting small and growing, or trying to go at 100%? So you want to make sure that you can actually achieve it, which brings me into the R. Again, I usually use 2 different ones. It's either relevant or realistic. I personally prefer realistic, but I liked relevant too because it made sense. So are you doing this for you? Or are you doing this for somebody else? Is it doable? Is it actually realistic and relevant to your life? So if you are somebody that has never run a day in your life, is running a 5K in 3 months really truly relevant to your life? Or is maybe walking a 5K in 3 months realistic? I oftentimes joke and I say I'm only going to run for shoes or if the zombies are after me. So for me, running a 5K is not a realistic thing, but walking a 5K at like a really quick power walk, it is. And it's something that I actually set as a goal for myself last fall, and I was able to achieve it. But trying to set it up to run it, I never would have even gotten up off the couch. So is it relevant to your life? Another way to think about it too is it going to add to your life or is it going to take away? So eating a diet 100% of the time, well, number one, there's no wine, there's no chocolate, and it's boring. One and done. I'm not doing it. But if you say to yourself, I'm going to pack my lunch 3 days a week and eat clean food those 3 days, that might be much more realistic because then if I really, really want that glass of wine, I can have it with dinner. So is it relevant or realistic for you? And finally, T, time bound. What is your time frame for doing this? 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 months? Again, if your favorite marathon is Netflix or Disney Plus and you decide you would like to run a 5K, saying I'm going to run a 5K in 3 days or 3 weeks, not really that realistic. You need to give yourself that time. So when I chose to walk my 5K, I gave myself 3 months to do it. I will only run for shoes or if the zombies are after me, but I can walk a good 11-minute mile, 12-minute mile. Pretty good for me. That is SMART goals. And that's an easy way to remember them is SMART, SMART. Is it specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic or relevant, and is it time bound? Next step that I created for you guys is kind of a flow chart of ways to think about your goals, because sometimes we get barriers, or in therapy world, we either call those self-fulfilling prophecies or limited beliefs and self-limiting beliefs. And essentially those are those mental barriers and mental roadblocks that sometimes set us up to fail. So are you ready to take control of your goals? Are you ready to do the SMART method to get your goals? If the answer is no, what is holding you back? And I even threw in here, what can I do to help? If you are having a mental roadblock like that, I want to help. Let me know. So if you answer yes, you are ready. What is your biggest goal for 2021? What is that huge, big goal? And, are you ready to take those steps? Do you know what you need to do? Yes or no? So if it's yes, the other question is, do you need some help identifying those goals? Is the goal a personal one? Is it a professional one? Is it, what kind of goal is it? And then, going from there. So break it down. If you know, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that, break it down as simply as you possibly can into as small steps. Because if you've ever watched like the Budget Mom, Dave Ramsey, any of the financial people, they talk about the snowball method when you pay off debt, because you get a small success and it grows and it grows and it grows. When you're talking about personal goals like this, having that big goal is amazing. It's awesome. It's what you want. However, you got to start small, or you're going to feel like you're failing and you're going to set yourself up to fail. So start small and grow big. Once you've done all of this and you've broken everything down and you've got this, I always type it up on Word, so it's all bulleted for me. That is then when you create a vision board. So you don't necessarily want to create the vision board first, because it could become overwhelming. So for my vision board, and I included a small little example within the workbook so you can kind of get an idea. So I start off with, there is a bikini, a hat, sunglasses. So my goal is to get to the beach at least once this year. The Magic Kingdom Castle, because again, one of the goals is to get back to Disney World. We do currently have a trip planned, but again, things are always up in the air. Next picture that I had was somebody working at home. It is a goal that by December, I would like to be able to work at home full time. Again, huge, huge goal. If I can't get it within 2021, that is okay, but it's important to have the steps broken down so that you have the progress that you're making to ultimately get to that goal. Down here at the bottom, I have a picture of the Houston city skyline. If you've been following me along on Instagram, you'll see that we are getting moved to Houston, and so my vision is for a smooth, successful move. And then lastly, there's a picture of a person getting a massage. And, last year, I did not focus on quality self-care like I should. And I used the picture of the massage, but getting massages and getting your nails done or whatever, yeah, that's a form of self-care. But another form of self-care can be unplugging your phone, taking some me time, having some intentional time with your spouse or your partner, having intentional time with your kids or family members if you're able to. Self-care can also be journaling. It can be recognizing what might be going on internally. So those are areas that I need to strengthen within myself as well. So that's my example, but I also included a blank version of it so that if you wanted to fill it out on your own, you have that available to you. The last and final thing that I included in my workbook for you guys, and again, a little shameless plug here, if you will, so bear with me. I did go off of the health and fitness example, because again, when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, that tends to be the most popular one. Health and wellness were the biggest things that came up when I polled Instagram and said, hey, what do you guys struggle with goal-wise and reaching, health, wellness, fitness were all of the things that you guys said. So some of the things that I included were, what are some of the common questions and comments that I get that are those self-limiting beliefs? So is it, I don't know how to do this. I don't know where to start. How do I stay motivated? How do I, stay committed to it? And those are all very valid thoughts because those are the mental roadblocks you might be experiencing. So I did include some of my most common answers that I provide whenever I get asked those questions. And again, if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, please feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to talk with you and help you get your goals. So that is my goal guide. That is how to set yourself up for success when you are setting goals. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what some of your goals are in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.